I absolutely love games like Pokemon, where you can get a minion to do all the fighting for you, and that's exactly what I want to do here. Can you beat Oblivion Remastered using only summons? Once I started the game, I chose Breton due to them having a higher conjuration skill and gave him a rat face that I imagine all of Nintendo's lawyers have. This challenge is pretty simple. I can only attack through summons, but I can still use magic as long as it doesn't damage enemies. As an added challenge, I decided not to wear any armor for this playthrough. Escaping the Imperial prison was very straightforward. Just let everyone attack you and don't fight back like every school's no-tolerance policy wanted you to. Later, I let the Blades fight the assassins much longer than necessary for my enjoyment and got to make my class. The only skill that really matters, of course, is Conjuration, though I picked up Alchemy and Restoration as bonuses because I thought they'd be able to make my summon stronger. After escaping, I decided to go to the Imperial City to buy a Scamp summon, only to turn out I got a skeleton one at some point. I swear that wasn't there when I checked earlier. As a side note, I'm happy to say that I have mastered the Persuasion minigame for Oblivion. You can rest easy that I'm not completely clueless. I decided to put my newfound skeleton friend against some bandits, and it did quite well, though the AI is kind of dog shit and the skeleton is pretty slow. After a quick chat with Joffrey, it was off to find Martin. Inside Oblivion is our skeleton pal's first real test, and it did okay, but I kept having to resummon it because it kept dying on me, and it seemed to lack any kind of depth perception, which makes sense since it has no eyes. With the gate closed and Martin found, I went and bought a Flame Astronax summon because my skill was high enough. I think we go quite well together, don't you think? Now that I've obtained a Fire Wife, I brought Martin to Joffrey and I was then sent to find a cult. Before I set off, I decided to grind my Conjuration till it was at 75 and leveled up quite a few times in the process. I was paired with Boris here to track down a cult that was in the sewers. Despite the assistance of me and my Fire Wife, Boris didn't make it, ensuring that she has me all to herself. While my new Fire Wife is much more powerful than the skeleton, I still wanted more, so I grinded again till I reached level 100 in Conjuration, ensuring that I can summon anyone I want. I decided that it was time for a new summon, a Spider Daedra, and wow, that's not what I expected her, to look like. I then confronted the Mythic Dawn cult in their cave. It put Spider Wife to work. Outside of stabbing with her legs, she can also spit lightning and fire at people. That's hot. Together, we punished the lizard that caused a headache for my last playthrough by crushing him under a statue. Remember guys, never help hostages. Spider-Wife was strong, but she still took quite a while to kill anyone, especially when she went up against multiple enemies, so I thought it was time for another summon. It's not my fault that I'm unfaithful guys, I'm trying to beat the game here. I ended up buying a few summons that I thought would be good. First was a Frost Astronac, which I was disappointed that it didn't have the figure of the fire one. Second was this Daedroth, and third was this Clanfear. Unfortunately, all of them outside of the Daedroth were garbage, with the Clanfear having pitiful damage and the Frost Astronac being slow as fuck. Even then, the Daedroth was only marginally better than my Spider Wife, so I kinda just alternated between them. Anyways, back to the main story, I had to get a Daedric artifact again, which meant I had to kill a wisp. If you watched my previous Oblivion playthrough, you know that there's no way I'm doing that again, so I went and bought some glow dust that the wisp drop instead. Unfortunately, I paid the price for being lazy as killing the vampires with my summons was absolutely miserable. The summon AI is quite dog shit in tight areas, and it doesn't help either that these vampires are pretty powerful, but I got it done eventually and was rewarded with the artifact, which I immediately gave away to Martin cause fuck this thing. At this point, I was wondering when Conjuration would actually get good, so I decided to get into spellcrafting to see if I can make it better. I found Frostcrag Spire, a player home that has a spell-making altar, with the other one being at the Arcane University, which is a huge pain in the ass for me to unlock. I made two spells that I think would help with this playthrough, one that would buff my magic to an insane level, so I can then cast a spell that can buff my summon. Feeling confident that I'm now a god, I decided to jump into an Oblivion Gate. Unfortunately, my attempt to get ahead completely backfired as per usual, as my buff spell doesn't seem to work at all on my summons. What's worse is that I'm now at a high enough level for stronger enemies to spawn, which is unfortunate as my summons aren't any stronger. Realizing that it would take me an eternity to clear this gate if I had my minion fight everyone we came across, I decided to just run past everyone. Once again, however, I paid the price for being lazy. As it turned out, I had to escort some dumbass captain, which meant I had to reload a save and do it all over again. Fucking Christ. Remember when I cleared out those vampires? Well, apparently, I got infected by them and didn't notice, and now enough time has passed where if I went to sleep, I'd become a vampire. While that does sound cool, I read online that being a vampire in Oblivion is a giant pain in the ass to manage, so I reloaded a save. But now, I can't level up since that means I have to sleep, so I guess I'm stuck at level 15 for the rest of the game. Back to the story, I had to fight through ghosts to get the Emperor's armor. I tried to use the spider Daedra, but it was really bad at killing anything at this point, so I tried to run past all the ghosts instead, but that didn't really work out. Instead, I switched to using the Daedroth, who did a way better job, so I guess I'm sticking with Bowser here from now on. Actually, never mind. I looked up online for a strong summon and found out that I can buy a Drummer Lord summon who looked pretty damn cool. For the next quest, I had to go to some ruins to get a magic rock. I really didn't feel like spending another hour fighting every enemy, so I decided to just speedrun through the ruins, ignored everyone, and grabbed what I needed. Afterwards, Martin assembled his ragtag army to fight the Daedra so I can enter a Great Oblivion Gate. Unfortunately, I was lazy again and didn't bother fighting with everyone, and the result was the deaths of everyone, including Martin. Whoops. On my second try, my summon fought on my behalf, but I think they might have murdered a soldier as a bonus. I'm not really sure how that happened. Regardless, I quickly rushed through Oblivion, reached the Sigil Stone in record time, and closed the gate, and found out my summon murdered 3 people. Let's hope that doesn't bite me in the ass later. Martin then opened a portal to Monarnia, where I was forced to run around in circles whenever someone tried to kill me, and let my summon do all of the work. Inside a cave, some dude wanted to do some pet play or something, and demanded I get into a cage, so they can perform unspeakable acts on me. Instead, my summon saved me from this fate and killed them all. Good job. The cult's Grandmaster's daughter then bragged about her father's power, and she was quite right to do so, as he made my game crash. In the fight against him, it turned into a full-on Pokemon battle, where he summoned his own fire waifu to help him, but she wasn't quite enough to save him. I informed Martin of my success and watched all the blades slide away in respect. Despite doing all of this, Imperial Guards are only concerned over the 3 soldiers that I didn't really murder, and as punishment for their ungratefulness, I had my summon butcher the lot of them. My rampage went on for quite some time, and I was finally satisfied when Talos Plaza was littered with their corpses. Exactly what these fuckers deserve. It was then time to crown Martin the new emperor, but nope, a demon invasion had to happen instead. Once again, I was very lazy and immediately beelined for the temple. He quickly sped through Martin's emotional farewell and watched him save the day on his own. And with that, I had beaten Oblivion Remastered using only summons. Yippee! Thank you very much for watching this video. Feel free to subscribe if you'd like to see more challenges. If you got an idea for a challenge, I'd love to read it in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed the video and that you have a nice day. Bye bye!